Hi guys, if you're here expecting our usual upload of me falling over and Harry breaking bikes, don't worry, that's coming on Wednesday. This video is something a little different. So, we haven't mentioned this yet, but Harry and I are currently in the planning stages of a big London to Sydney motorbike ride for next year. So I'm in full research mode, and I was wondering what to do with all this information I've been gathering on different countries. So I'm going to start a small video series that puts together all this information on overlanding and travel in some of the countries that we're looking at visiting. Ideally, we hope that people might watch it and tell us if we've got things wrong or if there's something else we should be doing. The series is going to be called Travel Planning, and the first episode is on a place I'm super excited to ride a bike through, and that is Morocco. So why visit Morocco? Besides it being a beautiful country with friendly, interesting locals, if you want to do any touring in Africa, Morocco is the European gateway. And with a developed tourism sector and relatively safe travel, it's an easy way to dip your toes into the continent. For anyone choosing to drive or ride, the Atlas Mountains make for some dramatic scenery and very rewarding roads. And if you're really wanting to test yourself, they have a lot of sand to dig your bike out of. Looking at the map, you can see Morocco has a huge border with Algeria and also with Mauritania in the south. Plus, there are a load of ports, so it would seem like there'd be a few options for border crossings. But you'd be dead wrong. Firstly, there is no way to cross into Algeria. That border's been closed since the 90s. Then a quick look online at ferries will tell you that the only international ports are Nador, Tangier, Tangier Med and Al Hoceima, all of which are in the far north of the country linking to southern Europe. So that cancels any options for the remaining ports. As for Mauritania, there is a single land border in the far south at Nouadhibou. So unless you want to fly in or out of Morocco, or you're happy to turn around and head back to Europe, your route has to be entering by ferry in the far north and exiting by land to Mauritania. Getting in should be straightforward. Morocco doesn't ask for a visa for EU citizens or Australians, so Harry and I will both get 90 days free entry. As for vehicle import, the Moroccan consulate website says you need to have a complete temporary import form, which you can do for free on the ferry, and you'll need insurance. Morocco's covered under Green Card, which you would likely have used for travelling in Europe anyway. Otherwise, you can also arrange something at the border. So stamp your passport and you're in. There are a million great roads to suit any type of travelling in Morocco. These are just a few I've seen that made me feel a little inspired. Don't let the off-roading give you the wrong impression. Morocco does have great roads, we just like getting a bit dusty. So the first up is the Cirque de Jafar. This is an 80-kilometre piste going from Mid-Alt to Tunfit. It's pretty rugged and sheer in a lot of places, but it's got incredible views and it's super quiet. From Tunfit you can cross the Atlas on the R704 to the Dades Gorge via Msemria. Dades Gorge is probably Morocco's most famous road, and I've already used images of the Tidgrite switchbacks twice in the video so far. If you double back a bit, starting at Msemria, you can take a creek-bed route between Dades and Todra Gorges. It's about 40 kilometres to come out to Tamtatoucht, and then you head south to Tingier. From Tingier, you can take the Tazazat road, which goes to Nakob. It's about 120 kilometres long, and again, it's a really quiet road, good fun for some off-roading. Just south of Nakob, you can follow the Dra River going from Agds to Zagora, and it's a beautiful tar, palm tree and oasis-filled road. A little further west there's a long route going from Talouine to Gelmim, and that's about 360 kilometres. This route goes through Tafouet, which is a pretty famous town where they've got this palm loop that you can go through, and some big painted rocks. So that's what I've found so far. If you're watching and you have any other recommendations for other roads we should use, please let us know in the comments and we will for sure add them to the list. As we're travelling on motorbikes, we've been looking at places to visit that keep us away from the cities and ideally keep us close to our bikes. Here's what I've found so far. Number 1. Heftiba. So this is a city, but it's a small one. It's in the north of the country, everything's blue, and you can even ride your motorbike through the streets. Number 2. Volubilis. This place is super cool if you're at all interested in the ancient world. It's a UNESCO site and has ruins from the Carthaginians and Romans, and the place is really quiet. Number 3. Azrou. This is a town with a massive cedar forest that's really out of place in Morocco and great to drive through, and it has monkeys. Number 4. Ben Haddou. This is another UNESCO World Heritage Site. The place is a really famous old village near Ouarzazate. It's good fun exploring, with steps winding up through houses up a mountainside. Number 5. Erg Shigagar. This is close to Zagora, and it's Morocco's largest sand dune. You can go quad biking or camel riding, or just relax in Berber tents in the middle of the desert. Number 6. Lagzira. Lagzira is a beach close to Gelmim. It's well known for these huge stone arches, and I think you can even ride through them. Although I heard one collapsed a couple of years ago. So that's what I've got so far ready to be ticked off. Let me know if you think there are any other places I need to add to the list, because I'm sure I've missed loads. So this is the important stuff to keep in mind when we go to Morocco. Firstly, currency. Morocco used the dirham, which is about 10 to a US dollar, and you have to buy it once you get to the country. As for costs, it's a pretty cheap place to travel. Budget My Trip estimates spending about $17 a day for a room, and $6 a day will pay for your food and water. That's if you're going low cost. As for fuel, it's about $1.10 per litre, and lower than that once you get to Western Sahara in the south. For visas, if you're hoping to pick up an onward visa in Morocco, you'll need to stay in Rabat. You can get both a Mauritanian visa and a Malian visa from their embassies there, usually on next day collection, so you need to make sure you leave time to wait there. For safety, Morocco is generally considered a pretty safe country to travel. There's always the possibility of being pickpocketed or dropping your bike over a ravine, but there's a very low likelihood of any banditry or kidnapping. However, a year ago there was a high-profile murder of 2 Scandinavian women in the Atlas Mountains, so it's not something to be totally complacent about. With political tensions along the Algerian border and in the Western Sahara, there does remain some risk of terrorism, particularly in those areas. A last thing to consider is drones. Harry and I were planning to travel with a drone, but these are banned in Morocco. This is something that the government takes seriously, and tourists have reported them being seized at entry ports, so I think we'll be looking at onward shipping it before we get to the country. Hi again. So that's all I've figured out so far, but we've still got a year before we actually hit the road, so plenty of time for things to change. If you watch the video and you've got any opinion on what's there, or think there's anything that we need to add, We'd love it if you would comment below. Especially if you think there's someone that we need to talk to when we're in Morocco. Harry and I love listening to people who've got interesting things to say. In the meantime, thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you again on Wednesday.